This week's Angel Chat question comes from Fiona, and Fiona lives in Romsey, Australia. And she says, Dear Julie, my husband's been living with chronic rheumatoid arthritis for 7 years, and no treatment has helped him. He's also suffering from a large tear in his right shoulder. As you can imagine, he's in constant pain. Can you please help? He doesn't have much quality of life. Love, light, and blessings. Fiona. So, Fiona, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect from me to you and from you to your husband. And then I'm going to ask his permission if I can scan him. And if he says yes, I will. If he says no, I won't, just because it's an ethical thing. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading down to you in that other A area in Australia. Alabama, Australia. Get it? Okay. So here we go. All right. Got you going to your husband. All right. Do I have your permission to scan you? Fiona wants me to scan you. He says, oh, by all means. Okay, good. So she probably cleared that with him ahead of time. I always ask permission because I think it's unethical to scan somebody without their permission. I just don't think it's right. So I don't do it. Okay, shooting energy from your feet. Oh boy, he's inflamed. Inflammation looks like red fog on body parts. And I use anti-inflammatory energy, which is a royal blue color, to calm it down. So that's what I'm doing. When I have my eyes closed, it's just because I can see better in my mind's eye. I'm not distracted. And so I'm getting that calmed down so I can see what's going on. All right. So his body is very inflamed, and arthritis looks to me in the joints like corrosion that you'd see on a battery, that's gotten old, that white crunchy stuff, or sometimes we'll see it on a pipe that has a little bit of a leak in it, and it gets that white crunchy calcium deposity stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm removing, this is all in my mind's eye, I'm removing his skeleton out through the top of his head. And when that happens, what it does is it gets rid of all of that crusty looking battery corrosion stuff in the joints. And then I'm dipping his skeleton into a big vat of stem cell energy. Reminds me of those big dunking tanks that they have at the fair. Sometimes there would be a teacher or a coach on it. You throw a baseball at them and try and get them to dunk into the tank. So that's what I'm watching there. And then skeletons getting put back into his body. There's a vortex that's spinning above his head, beneath his feet, on either side of him, in front and behind him. And that is all going to transform that stem cell energy into new tissue, new cartilage, new healthy tissue, where that corrosion stuff from the arthritis, and that's what it looks like in surgery. I'm an inventor of orthopedic surgery devices that are sold throughout the world. And I've been in a whole lot of procedures in the operating room where I know what this stuff looks like. And so, of course, that's my frame of reference. That's what it looks like in my mind's eye. So it's removing that, it's regenerating all of that. Arthritis normally, Fiona, comes in the gut. The gut is where most inflammation is caused. So what I'm going to suggest is go to my website, askjulieryan.com, go to the Ask Julie page and send me a note that says, I'd like the gut biome test. And I'll send you a link for a gut biome test, which is basically a fancy word for a poop test. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell your husband what are going to be the best foods for him to eat. Here are these optimal ones, incorporate these into his diet. Here are the ones for him to avoid, some of which may be healthy, but they're just not healthy for him right now. And then here's everything else. The link that I send you is going to be a little bit of a discount. Anybody watching or listening, if you want the link, go to askjulieryan.com, click on the Ask Julie button, just say, hey, I'd like the link for the gut biome test or for the poop test even, and we'll know what you're talking about. So I would have him do that, follow what their suggestions are, and that's going to help a lot. The body has the capacity to heal from anything and everything. So I know he's discouraged because he's in pain, but he can heal his body. And the first place to start is with what he's eating. Get the inflammation down in his body by helping him eat foods that are going to really help benefit him. As far as his shoulder goes, let me check that. The energy went to his right shoulder. He's got a little bit of a torn rotator cuff. And so what I'm doing is I'm stitching that up. When I say it's spirit working through me and with me to help facilitate healing. Nobody heals anybody else. We all just heal ourselves. And any kind of medical provider or healer like me or whomever, we help people heal themselves. So I'm stitching that up, spirit working through me and with me to get that sewn up. And then there's a little bit of stem cell energy that's going on that to help that heal. And hopefully that'll help. That will heal on its own. Rotator cuff surgery is a very popular thing. And yes, it can help. And yes, it can help you heal faster in a lot of instances, but it's going to heal on its own too. It's kind of like if you cut yourself, if you get stitches, great. It may help it heal faster and cleaner, but it's going to heal on its own too. So that's our angel chat question for the week. If you'd like to submit one, again, go to AskJulieRyan.com, the Ask Julie button, put in your question. You may be chosen for an angel chat. And then also remember to subscribe and hit the bell so that when we have new things that we post, that you'll get notified. Sending you lots of love. Mwah, from Sweet Home, Alabama.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.